Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Welcome to the Swoonsisters Society, the podcast where two sisters talk about the swooniest moments in books, movies, TV shows, and real life. Apparently, he's like gorgeous.
It's a factor.
Too.
At least he's loyal. Look, she's not messing around. She's ready to start her own business, open her own business fronts.
Hi, Katie.
Yes, I'm Katie.
I'm Laura. We're happy to have you guys here. Today we're going to be talking about King of Greed, which is the third book in the Kingofsin series by Huang. The story follows Alessandra Davenport, a floral artist who decides to divorce her husband, Dominic Davenport, the King of Wall Street, after 10 years of marriage. Alessandra realizes that Dominic is no longer the man she fell in love with, and she takes charge of her life, even if it means leaving him. Dominic refuses to let her go, and he fights for their marriage no matter what. So a little second chance romance here, which is always good.
Spoiler-free review?
Spoiler-free review. Yeah, you want to go first?
Sure. So I actually really enjoyed this story. I am actually a fan of second chance romance. Not everybody is, but I like the idea that love can happen at any point in a relationship. Like any point in a relationship can have that excitement, not just the initial part of when a relationship starts. Because in most of us, for our real lives, you only experience that once, and then you're married for many years. So I love to see a couple reconnect. I'm gonna rate it the same as I rated the first book, King of Wrath. So they're both like kind of on par for my favorite books in the series. I'm going to give it 3 stars. I really enjoyed it. It had parts that I really liked. Wasn't my favorite romance book ever, but it was fun. How about you?
I am also going to give it a 3. I enjoyed this book a lot, but it was very angsty. Like there was just so much. Obviously, they're getting divorced. Like, it's to be expected. I think I'm going to give it a 3. I loved it. There was a lot of, like, really good quotable lines in this book. And it was a lot of sweet moments. So, overall, I really enjoyed it. So, a 3. Solid 3.
Realize, I think, what I don't love about these books. That it is a personal thing. And I think it's the melodrama. And it's not only in the plot, because the plot has a lot of melodrama, but it's also just in the lines. Like, what the main characters say is so much, and it's so soap opera. Like when they're like, I would live 1,000 lives with you. I would do anything to get you back. Anything. Like just the way that those lines are, I'm like, I can't imagine people talking like that in real life, but it's like only how people talk in soap operas. And I know you like that, but I kind of realized while I was reading this, I was like, what is it about these books that is not letting me fully immerse in it? And I feel like it was that.
I love that. I love those lines. I have a lot of them written down.
When you said there's a lot of quotables, I was like, no, it's those kinds of lines.
With that being said, I will say that so far, Alessandra might be my favorite girl. Like, this book solidified that. She was so good.
She was one of my favorite characters, too. I feel like she has a backbone. She respects herself. She's doing what she needs to do to live a fruitful, meaningful life for herself. And I respect that, and I love it. And I love that she doesn't let him in right away.
Yeah.
So that's important.
She makes him work for it.
Can we go into spoiler zone now?
100%. I thought we were already in them.
Spoilers now. If this was real life, if my friend asked for a divorce from her husband and he started showing up on all her dates and he followed her to Brazil and he wouldn't take no for an answer from her and wouldn't accept that they were not together anymore, I would tell her, get a restraining order, ma'am. This is not healthy. In the book, it works. But
I'm like, I love it.
Love it too.
There's literally a line in there where she's like, are you stalking me? That's not very romantic. And he literally says, I'm past romantic, Alessandra. I'm desperate. Like, I love it.
But why does that toxic stuff make my heart turn? Who knows? But in real life, this would never work. But for the purposes of the book, oh, it's so great.
Like this book starts in such a heartbreaking way, like because you knew this was coming even in the last two books. Like their relationship is on the rocks. She starts her business with Isabella, and we saw it in the last book that like Dominic's never really around. He's always working. He wouldn't even know if she started a new business. Like, so you knew it was like not headed in a good direction. And it's just so heartbreaking when it first starts. And when it first starts, like when she first asks for the divorce, you can just tell that Dominic doesn't realize that this is way deeper than just missing the anniversary that he missed, like their 10-year anniversary. It's so much deeper. Like she has completely lost herself, and she's like on a journey to just be her own individual person again. And Dominic at the beginning of the book, I kind of don't even like him at the beginning of the book because he's like, we can still go to DC, we can still make our 10-year anniversary happen, and he thinks that's the only thing that's wrong. So it's just like a heartbreaking beginning.
He doesn't understand that he's put her through years and years of emotional neglect. And from his perspective, it's because he wanted to give her a certain kind of lifestyle and he wanted to promise her those things. And I like the fact that they actually go into his anxiety of that he's afraid of losing that everything that he's worked for. And he describes it in that he gets chest pains, he gets what I read into as anxiety, which is getting in the way of their relationship because he's not present with her. And I think that's a very real thing that couples go through. And it's so hard. Like imagine she's going through life alone and she's basically just the billionaire's wife. Like she helped him get there, but she hasn't done anything for herself at that point. It's like, yeah, I want better for you, girl.
Yeah, same. I want so much better for her. And it's exactly like what you said. Like you really get, once you start to get to know Dominic as the book goes on, you start to feel for him and you start to like him. Like he's a very, in my opinion, likable male lead. And he literally came from nothing, and he built this like orphan, like came from literally nothing and built this empire. Him being terrified to lose it makes sense. Like he wasn't born into money. Like this is not something that he can fall back on. If he loses everything, he loses everything. And then it's just, it's so good to watch him go from just that anxiety of thinking that he'll lose his empire to like realizing that he's losing Alessandra, and just like his growth through the book, that transition, like of that being the most important thing he could lose to obviously Alessandra is like just, it's, I think it's done so well in this book. I really like it.
Yes, it is. And then so it's been these years of emotional neglect, and it's like when when you take someone for granted and you don't even think that losing them is a possibility. So you just act however you feel like, and you're just going through your own life, not even thinking about what they're perceiving and only thinking about yourself. So I feel like he got so comfortable in that life that when he misses that 10-year anniversary, he's just like, okay, well, it's just another thing. Like, she'll forgive me. She's already asked for marital counseling at this point, and he's like, okay, well, she only asked once, so couldn't have been that serious, right? And he's seeing kind of like all the signs of where he went wrong and where he didn't address the problems in their relationship. And then so the night that he doesn't show up for their anniversary trip and she leaves, that's a turning point that I really liked, to see him kind of freak the frick out and scour New York City for her. And he's like walking in the rain all night.
I love that. I love that. It just like goes to show you like how quickly he realized that like it's not like, it takes him a while to realize how dire the situation is, but it doesn't take him a while to realize that he doesn't want to lose Alessandra, which I kind of like. Like there's a difference between those two things. But I also love that Ale like knows she needs to leave. and she sticks to her guns, even though they always have a relationship and keep talking. She's very adamant about the fact that, like, no, we're getting a divorce. I need to leave. I need to find my own happiness. And I love that about her.
Yes. Yes, absolutely, 1000%. And when she leaves, she stays with Sloane, who is the main character of the next book, Kingofsloth. So I thought that was a cute Easter egg into the next book.
It's really cute Easter egg into the next book. And I'm like 70% through that book. I don't want to give anything
already
away.
I need to start it. Yes. Okay.
Okay, anyway.
Okay, I'm really excited for the next episode. Okay.
Me too. Okay, so let's move on to one of my favorite parts, because this is what I love about Anna's books. Like the dinner party scene where they're at the dinner party, and the fact that Dominic has like this long lost brother who comes back all of a sudden, and he's evil. He was in prison. Who knows? We don't know. Why is he back? Is he after Dominic? Like, I love all of that. So at the dinner party, when he's there, and then there's a murder at the dinner party. Well, a murder.
Yes.
I love that part.
That part was so melodramatic, but I did love it because immediately after there's the murder and everyone's screaming. Dominic and Alessandra both realized that the first person they started looking for was each other. And we get a steamy little scene right after that. But Alessandra's still in that headspace of like, we're getting a divorce.
Yeah.
But she can't help herself around. Like, she's still in love with him. He just hurt her too deep. She needs to move on for herself. So it's a lot of complicated emotions. And what I really love about her is that, so she's not messing around. She's ready to start her own business, open her own business fronts. She's got, her assistants, and she's looking into some real estate, right? She finds a very cute storefront, and who owns it? But this guy, Aiden, which was giving Aiden from Sex and the City.
It was.
She literally says he looks like a lumberjack. And I was like, why was I imagining that?
That's exactly who I saw. And then this guy is like, Dominic is like the Wall Street guy. It's literally giving Big and Aiden. Like it is.
1000%. But anahuang loves to do that. She had a few lines in this book that were copy and paste, just references to other movies and things. Like she had a reference to 10 Things I Hate About You when she says, the thing I hate is that I don't hate him, not even a little bit. And I'm like, girl.
Yes.
But so she invites Aiden out on a date because she's trying to date again. Like she's ready to get back out there and meet new guys. She's like, I've been with the same man for 10 years. I've only went on a couple dates before that. I got married when I was 22 or 23 or whatever. So she asks Aiden out and they kind of go on this date, but they agree it's like mostly just like kind of like as friends. And she's just thanking him for like helping her out with her storefront and everything. And lo and behold, who shows up? We already know. Dominic. And he is gagged that she's on a date with another person. He's literally on a business lunch and he can't even pay attention to his business. The moment Aiden goes to the bathroom for 2 seconds, he's at that table. And there's just something about the way Anna writes these men who grovel and are so jealous that I love.
The groveling in this book is like top tier groveling.
Yeah, the groveling is the entire book. It's the whole time.
It's literally the whole book. Like literally, no, that scene that you're talking about, like Dominic, like his claws come out a little bit because he even walks away and he's like, he should have ordered the cab or whatever. Like,
my God, that's right. Honestly, he ate with that one because I would have been like, if I was Alessandra in the moment, I would have been like, she probably knew that he should have ordered the cab too. And she's like, ugh, he's right. And Dominic's so fancy. Like, I'm sorry, a man in a nice tailored suit over a lumberjack. For me, honey, that's not my type.
I love it. And then Alessandra decides, I can't be in New York anymore. I need to get away. and she just dips. She has like a storefront, a business, all this stuff. She can't be in the same city as Dominic, so she dips and goes to Brazil to be with her brother. By the way, Alessandra is probably gorgeous. Like, do you imagine her very pretty? Because that's how I imagine her.
Her name is Alessandra.
And she's
definitely
Brazilian.
hot. I imagine her so gorgeous. She's like a beautiful like sea siren, like with those eyes, you know? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I imagine her to have like the stare of like love.
Yes. So she goes to Brazil to be with her brother. And who shows up and is literally staying in the house next door but Dominic?
This is why I say restraining order.
So she goes to Brazil to be with her brother, and who's there? Dominic. Like, of course. But in the book, one of the things about Dominic being there that's like really cute in the book is that he took off of work. And Alessandra literally sees him and she's like, how long are you going to be here? And when he tells her he didn't buy a return flight, she's like, her and her brother are like, what? Like, you're just going to ignore work? While it is creepy, it's kind of like the moment in the book where you see that he is not playing around. Like, he is trying to get her back for real. So I kind of like it.
And I have a most swoon-worthy moment that has to do with that, which I'm excited to get into later. But you could definitely see his priority shifting. You're so right. And the fact that he wants to like put in effort for her, for me, it's tough because I think about things really realistically. So I'm like, if this was real life, this would totally be too little too late. How are you able to trust somebody after all these years? Like, obviously he's just trying not to lose her last minute. But then like when you see them out there and they're actually talking and he feels like he can open up and be himself with her for the first time in a really long time, you see that it's not only her who's getting a partner back, but like he's also getting a partner back, which is something that he didn't realize how bad he was missing that and how bad he needed that with all, like he's just been working nonstop, like he's been a robot.
Yeah.
So I love that. I love like the renewment of like love and like I feel like it's like they're discovering themselves again and like they're in their relationship.
Yeah. Well, even in Brazil, like, because he goes on the same diving trip that she's on, in his head, she's afraid of diving because that's the last thing he remembers. And then she tells him, no, I went diving with my friends. And he's just like, I think he's just slowly starting to realize that he doesn't even know her anymore. Like, he's been so absent that he doesn't even know her. And then he's just like, I wish, like, for so much of this book, Alessandra, because Dominic is really good at pretty words, and Alessandra always thinks that. She's like, he always says the right thing. But then you're in Dominic's head as the reader, and you can see that, like, it's not just words. Like, it's not just him wanting to win her back because he's competitive. It's just he actually likes that she is the only person for him. And I don't know. I like being in Dominic's head.
Yeah. That she's the only person in his life that he even feels like he can really be himself and just comfortable around, you know? Like she's his family.
Yes, 100%. Let me ask you a question. Was it hard for you, because it was hard for me, to read the flashbacks in this book?
Hard for me? I actually like the flashbacks.
They're cute.
What do you mean by hard?
Like, I have a hard time when I know the couple's gonna break up and then I get cute flashbacks. I don't know. I like have a hard time reading the flashbacks because I'm like, I know where this is. I don't know.
Yeah, but I wanted to know, like, what was the initial spark in the first place? Like, why did you fall in love with each other in the first place? And I liked the story, you know, because back when they first met, he was a nobody. He wasn't a billionaire like he is now. So he could barely afford dinners and he would like save up just to take her out on a date. And the first gift he gets her is, well, she's his tutor. That's how they meet. And it's like a little like best teacher mug.
That's so cute. That is cute.
Back later. And you see that before the money, he had so much heart. You could see how thoughtful he was. And then once he started, but his mindset before he had money was, oh, I can't wait till we don't have to worry about this anymore, and I could just get her whatever we need, or I could just take us out whenever we want. But once he can do those things, it doesn't mean anything because he doesn't have the heart that's going into it anymore. So I like to see where it stemmed from and where it came from.
I had to, when I finished the book at the end, I had to go back and read all the back in time scenes. I don't know why that's so hard for me. Like, if a couple is gonna break up and I'm getting back in time scenes, I'm like, no, no, no. I need to know how they reconcile. Like, I need to get there, and then I can read the back in time stuff.
I get you. I don't like books that are like half back in time scenes and half present. Like I can't. I just can't get invested. This one was fine because I felt like it was mostly present and the flashbacks just gave us like a little bit of context. But like there was this book, literally this book, Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren, that it's half in the past and half in the present. It wasn't for that kind of thing isn't for me for that exact reason that you're saying. For this one, I feel like it worked.
Yeah. Okay, so they're in Brazil. Her mom is like another drama point with them. That her mom is like always getting remarried or whatever. And so now she's getting remarried and in like a couple of days. And Dominic really just like jumps to the rescue, gets them there, and is there for her. And it's like such a heartbreaking scene because when she's like walking down the aisle, like they're both thinking about their wedding. And then when she's like at the front, she looks at him in the crowd and she like cries. That part was so sad. Mm-hmm. And then, but I think because that's when Dominic in his head realizes like he's the one who made her so unhappy, and she's not just unhappy in their marriage, she's like unhappy with herself. And I think it's just like a real turning point for him.
You're so right. When they're at the wedding and she's thinking about their marriage and she thinks about the vow that he said to her that when she's married with him, she'll never go through life alone. That's such a big thing for her because she went through so many years alone, even though she was in a marriage. And I feel like it's relatable. A lot of people feel alone even when they're in a relationship, because if you're not having that support, then what do you have? It's just a title.
Yeah.
So I like those parallels. I think that was good writing, like from anahuang's perspective.
Yes, 100%. And I also feel like, and she says it like, because Dominic is not 100% to blame. Like, he even tells Ale, like, you really didn't say anything. And Ale does think in her head, she's like, oh, I probably should have stood up for myself more. And she was like just kind of quiet about her unhappiness a lot. Like, she did say things, but like not really, you know? And so it kind of got to this point, and Dominic like should have seen it coming, but didn't because of that. And I feel like their communication was just in such a bad place. And now through this divorce, like somehow their communication is like getting better, or is better. And they're not like, they're rebuilding this. And it's just like, I like watching it happen.
Yeah, me too. I feel like in the book, you understand that this is a huge wake-up call for him. In real life, like I said, if it was my friend, I would be so suspicious of him. But since we get his perspective, like you said, we see that he's just never truly realized that he could lose her until this point. Everything in his life, and he says multiple times that she is like his son. Like, she is what actually centers his life, not work. He totally starts acting like that.
Yes. One of my other favorite things about this book, which actually happens in Brazil, is because I think Isabella is taking over Alessandra's flower shop while she's gone. And there's a moment where like they're on the phone and they're talking and catching up. And her friends kind of do tell her, like, kind of to your point, what you're saying, like, oh, are you sure? Maybe this is a little weird or whatever. Her friends do tell her that. But then Ale thinks in her head, like, they just don't know how Dom is and how we are. And so I get that too a little bit. But she does think, I just love the girl friendships, like the four of them. I really love their friendship. And even like, It's so cute. And even Ale thinks in her head, she's like, that friendship with those three girls is part of the reason that she realized that she was so unhappy in her marriage. And I just love that because like good girlfriends will make you feel like this happiness and just feel like yourself. And she wasn't feeling that with her husband, and she was able to compare it to like her friendship, which was actually stimulating her. And like she wasn't getting that from Dominic. So like I kind of love that. I love that their friendship was
I
so
love
cute.
that too. They give each other perspective. And I actually love that Vivian from the first book, King of Wrath, is the first one who kind of is able to make parallels between her and Dante's relationship and Alessandra and Dominic's. I'm sorry, these names are too similar. Dominic and Dante. Why did you do this, Anna? Why did you do this to us? But she's kind of able to make parallels, and she kind of is able to kind of see things from not Dante's, Dominic's perspective. Holy this is hard. She's able to see things from Dominic's perspective and kind of be like, well, maybe you could give him a chance, like, because she was able to forgive Dante, so she does kind of speak up and say that it's possible that Alessandra can forgive Dominic and they could end up being happy because it was possible for her. So I thought that was cool addition to the story.
I agree. I really like the girl friendships in these books. I think it's so cute.
So cute. And I love that, you know, Isabella and like Kai and all of them hang out, and Dante, and like part of the ways that Dominic knows what's going on is because Dante and Kai always are in the loop because of their girls, and it's like that friend group dynamic. Super cute.
It's like really freaking cute. Yeah, I like it. I love these. There's like a bunch of them. The intertwined like romance books. I love it. Oh my gosh, they're okay. So she agrees to go on one date with Dominic, right? While she's in Brazil, and their date. Dominic is like, he's so funny. Like, okay, we're gonna go on a date, overnight trip. He has to do like the most extra.
He doesn't
stuff.
Play.
No, he's like here to win.
That's why we read the billionaire books. I'm like, I want to be treated lavish. Let's romanticize a little bit.
I know. I want to be like whisked to an island and in a mansion.
Oh, that sounds kind of scary. Yeah, I want to be taken to like a different country just for a weekend. Just like, yeah, no big deal. Yeah. Let's have champagne on the way. God, I wish, instead of sitting in the last row of Spirit.
Oh, where you don't even get complimentary.
No. The only thing that gets me through is listening to these audiobooks, romance audiobooks. And I like when she wants to go to like the little market. I don't know. I could see that as like a little scene in a movie. Like they're just like enjoying themselves in Brazil, going around, eating some street food. It was a very cute date.
Well, and then the rowboat, and they're on the rowboat and they fall, and then they're super playful and they're splashing each other. And in that like moment, they forget about all their problems and they're just them. And it was really cute because it's like, there's still hope.
Oh my gosh, why is that literally the date that they go on in The Little Mermaid? I just realized, to a market and then on a rowboat, and then they I have the mind of a mastermind.
Wait, that's literally The Little Mermaid.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god,
I think that's why I could imagine it so clearly as like a little montage. I was reliving that.
My god, that's crazy.
Also,
how
what
did
a girl
I?
wants. Wait, what a girl wants? Don't they go on a rowboat and to a market? Wait.
Yes, and then they fall off of a rowboat. What is happening?
What is going on? Why is this a trope?
No, wait. In What a Girl Wants, doesn't she go to the market with her dad?
Okay, maybe I'm getting it confused.
Yeah. But her and the guy do fall. I don't know. Yeah.
There's so many rowboat scenes in movies. Like, how often do real couples go on rowboats? I want to know. I've never been on a rowboat with Josh. Have you been on a rowboat with Vince?
No.
And if I'm gonna go on a rowboat with Josh, I'm gonna be like, you paddle the whole time. That's feminism, okay? But yes, I love when they do that. And you could see, that's the first time I feel like you see him be playful in this whole book, and I needed that because he's so serious all the time, and he's so, I'll do anything, Alessandra. Like, okay, we get it.
I will get you back. No one will ever love you as much as I do. You are the only one for me. I love that he calls her Amor. I love that.
It is cute.
It's a good one.
He's not Latino though. She's
no,
Latina, but he's just white, right?
He learned Portuguese for her, which is also super
for
cute.
her family.
Yes.
That is really cute. It's just like Josh with Abuela.
Okay, so then the flood happens at her store, and Dominic once again rushes into action. He's like, I'll take you back to your store. He goes with her to the store. And she kind of breaks down and cries in his arms. And it's just like, I love another moment where he's just there for her. He's really like trying to turn it around, I guess. And then even after the flood, it needs repairs, that he changes his whole work schedule so that he can be there and help with the flood repairs every day with Aiden.
Yes.
Which is hilarious.
And he clashes with Aiden. Yes. Yes, I love that. No, he's really, really there for her. And he's leaving his own work to help her with her work. Like, he's putting in the work for her and their relationship. And I was here for it. And then she, meanwhile, is kind of telling him at one point, we can hook up, but I'm still going to date other people. Like, this is just, I don't know what this is right now, but I'm going to keep going on dates and doing what I have to do for myself, which I was like, goddess. And he shows up drunk and sad at her door. What'd you think of that?
Wait, that's literally the end. It's so good. You know, they're like getting sexy on the side. He knows she's dating. Unconfirmed if she even kisses another guy or has with another guy. I don't think so, but like unconfirmed because she never really like thinks about it. So I'm gonna say no.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but she's dating, and one of the nights that she's at his house, she's literally like, he's like, stay, and she's like, no, I have a date. And he gets so worked up that he like calls his brother, his long lost evil criminal brother, but okay. And they go out and he gets drunk, and then he shows up at her doorstep, and like, no, when she comes home and sees him there, it's like what you said, it's like stalkery, but it's like in the book it works. Like, to me that was so romantic. I'm like, oh my god, like
it's grovelly. Yes.
I liked it.
Oh my god, and one of the parts that I loved so much was when she's on a date with this Australian guy who's kind of a jerk, and you know, he's being nice to her. They're at Valhalla, and when he goes to the bathroom, the guy that she's on the date with, Dominic, is in the bathroom and overhears him saying, like, on the phone, like, oh yeah, like, I'm on a date with this hot girl. Obviously, I'm not trying to settle down right now, but whatever, I'm gonna lay the pipe or whatever. He doesn't say that, but whatever he's trying to say, he's trying to get with her and be like, oh,
no, he says
and stuff.
He says he has a camera and he's ready to record her when they get home. That's what he says. That's
Wait, why did I not get that? Maybe I skimmed that part.
That's why Dominic beats
Dominic
him up.
Messes him up. I was so excited.
And then he sees Alessandra, and Alessandra's pissed because he beat up her date. And then he tells Alessandra, this is what he said. He said he was going to record you. He's like, I can let you date. I can back off. I won't be there. But I cannot let you be disrespected. I'll do anything for you, but you can't ask me to do the impossible. And I was like, yes.
I loved that. And then she kisses him, and like, I imagine it's so cute. Like, she kisses him and he's surprised and he's just happy. Like, that's just all he wants. All he wants is her back. So I was like, cute. That was one of my favorite parts of the book. Yeah.
That was also one of my favorite parts. And we're getting towards the end now. So after that night, that's when what you said happens. Like, they start their little like situationship, I guess. And she dates. And then the opening of her store comes, and she tells Dominic, you know, you better be there. And he basically says, I will be there over anything. Like, nothing is going to stop me from being there. And the opening comes, and Dominic doesn't show up to the opening. Why? Because his brother.
Oh my god. This is the melodrama. It's like
corners him in an elevator and holds him at gunpoint because he says if you buy this bank, like Dominic's company was going to buy a bank, if you buy this bank, they'll kill us both. So like he holds a gun to his head until Dominic goes back and like says he's not going to buy the bank. So he doesn't make it to Ali's opening, but then he gets there late and you can tell that Alessandra is just like, he forgot. That's where her mind goes. Her mind goes to he's working and he forgot. And then Dominic shows up and he says, of course I didn't forget. I got stuck, and he tells her everything that happened. And then Alessandra,
she's just like, okay.
But she's not just like, okay. It's kind of like shows you that like she didn't have a problem with him missing stuff. What she actually had a problem with was that he didn't even think about her. Like, he would just forget about her.
Yeah, it was the emotional neglect. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that he didn't forget about her, he really actually tried to be there, and the reason he wasn't was actually legitimate. Like, it's enough for her to kind of, like, still give him that second chance. I don't know. I thought it was a valid.
Yeah, and also he was being held at gunpoint, so I think that gives him a pass.
He could have died.
And then the ending is cute. They get remarried. That's nice. You find out that she's pregnant. And I was like, we're having babies now. Great. And then we also found out that Vivian was pregnant. So
oh my gosh.
Together.
Love it.
That's cute. I know, I love it. They're having some mocktails and stuff together, and I'm like, this is how I want to be with my pregnant besties. Like, if I'm ever pregnant one day, like just mocktails and chill. The gossip still goes. The chief may is still on, like 1,000%. And then did you read the bonus chapter?
Dude, yes. The bonus chapter was so cute. Like her surprise birthday party that Dominic is throwing for her. And then they have a little, girl, I think. So cute. Like, so cute just seeing, like, Dominic actually, like, stick to what he said he was gonna do and, like, not lose her again. And I really loved getting to the happy ending because it was worth it at the end.
Yeah. And I love that we start with a couple who's already been together for 10 years. Like, we see their love story, and their love story is not the beginning of their relationship. Their love story is like happens when they're going to get a divorce. Like, that's really cool. That's really beautiful. I thought. I like this one. It was different from the other ones. It's different blueprint. It is the classic second chance romance, but I guess I haven't personally read a lot of second chance romance. I didn't know if I would like it, and I really, really did. I love it.
It was good. I have a couple questions for you. A couple. Would you, if you were Alessandra, would you give Dominic another chance?
Well, yes. Because okay. If it was real life, like, no, his behavior is not okay for real life. But if I was in the book and it was how I imagine it in the book, I feel like, yeah, he obviously sees the error of his ways. He wants to be better. He wants to do better. And he truly believes in his heart that he is going to give, if I give him a second chance, he's going to give me everything he has. And he's going to do everything in his power to not mess up again. And I respect that. I would definitely go to some counseling and just keep it going. How about you?
Yeah. I obviously yes. And if it was real life, I think if he had been a little maybe less intense at the beginning, because there's if you're trying to win someone back, there's a way to do it without being creepy, you know?
Yeah, there's definitely so much better ways that he could have gone about things. So if it was real life, restraining order. Book life, I take him back.
I feel like I would have taken him back at a certain point, but I'll tell you about that because it's my swooniest moment.
Let's not forget in this conversation, he's rich, like really, really rich. Like none of that matters, but
And
I
apparently
mean,
he's like
it's a
gorgeous too.
factor. He's gorgeous, he's rich, he wants me back, and he's loyal. At least he's loyal. Look, if he wasn't loyal, he'd be in the garbage. But it's just work. He just has issues, so it's fine.
You know, there is even a point where Alessandra says, like, I wish you were having an affair because then there would have been like something to break up over. Like Dominic, that didn't even
Hmm.
cross his mind, like to do that. Like that's not what the problem is.
I totally agree. And I feel like she captured that really well, how Alessandra was feeling. There was another quote somewhere in the book that it was about how she doesn't know, it wasn't just good relationship to bad relationship. At one point, you just start feeling things, and it mix the resentment mixes with the love, and it's confusing, and it's just a transition that it doesn't happen in a night. Like it's years and years and years. So I thought that she did a good job kind of capturing like the real life intricacies of how people are complicated and relationships are complicated.
Agreed. Agreed.
Laura, what's
Okay,
your most
so
swoon worthy moment?
I was just about to say that. Yes, let's do our most swoon-worthy moment for King of Greed. So I'll go first. So mine is, it's so random, but when the flood happens and they rush back and he helps her kind of every day after fixing the flood, that last night, and I don't know if you remember this part in the book, but that last night he makes sure that he's there after Aiden leaves and they get takeout together and they're talking, and Alessandra is kind of like, don't you have a million other places to be? And he tells her there's nowhere I'd rather be. And he's just talking to her. They're just having a normal conversation. And he asks her like, why pressed flowers? Like, why did you do this? And she kind of tells him that she just needed a hobby and she just needed something to do, something to feel like she mattered other than being his wife. And he
Hmm.
looks at her, and it's just the moment where he realizes like this is deeper than just us. She needs to like love herself. And he tells her, you matter always. And then he tells her, you know, I will always be here. Wait, I wrote the quote down that made me love this part. I'm going to read it to you. She says, you broke my heart and you weren't even there to witness it. And he just like realizes. Then he says at the end, he says, I'm going to let you do what you need, date, do what you got to do. I will stay out of it. And then he says, there are probably hundreds of men that would line up for a chance to be with you. I just ask that you let me be one of them. And I was just like,
Love that. I love that. That is really cute. I have two. One is when because I feel like this really showed him behind closed doors taking action to better their relationship. And it's when she's outside of his room in Brazil and she overhears him on the phone talking to his job and basically saying, like, I don't care. I'm going to stay here as I'm not leaving until Alessandra leaves. Like he is willing to wait it out and write it out and just do whatever he can to get his relationship back. I thought that was so sweet. Then I also love the moment where she kisses him after the whole thing with that Australian guy, cuz I could just see it, and I could just tell that he was probably so caught off guard and so happy that she did that. And
I love that. That's a good one. I can like see that in a movie. I can see it playing out.
exactly.
Thank you guys for listening. And I hope you enjoyed. Our next episode will be about the next book in the Kingofsin series, book 4 that just came out, Kingofsloth, which is Sloane
King
and
of Sloth,
Xavier.
which, can I just say, that title sounds the least sexy of all of them.
I know.
King of Wrath, King of Pride, King of Greed, King of Sloth. Like what? I'm just imagining a sloth.
I know. I'm just imagining a man that just moves like slow. you know?
Like Zootopia. Like what? He's just chilling on the couch all day? Like
Like Zootopia.
so we'll see.